I knit my brow.
You got knits in your hair. Dude, that's one of the benefits of short hair.
Welcome to the Rowdy Studio. I am Buzz Cutler. That's Bassmasters. Bassmasters is fired up. He's fired up this morning. You leave his Kyle Busch alone.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and defend what Kyle Busch did, okay? But is anyone out there, anyone at all, besides me, just a little bit miffed at the self-righteous tone of all this? Kyle Busch is the worst guy in the history of the world.
Second worst.
Okay. Anyway, whether he's the worst or the second worst, it's not like he did something that was radically different from what we saw even just last week at Martinsville, where guys were wrecking each other on purpose, getting out of the car and going, yeah, you know, I had enough of that, so I wrecked him. Basically, yes, I wrecked him on purpose. Kyle did the same thing. He got out of the car. I'd been tired of getting wrecked, so I drew a line. I had to do something about it. I mean, we've been watching this for a year and a half, not just watching it, but practically glorifying it. And now that Kyle Busch does it, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. Oh, he's a bad man, and he should be fired, and he should be thrown out of his ride. I'm not condoning what the man did, but the self-righteous tone is...
Bassmasters, despite Mike Helton's protestations, here at Rowdy, we can be intellectually honest. NASCAR doesn't have to be, but we can be.
Yes.
And can you acknowledge, my friend, that, first of all, there is a cumulative effect where Kyle Busch is concerned, which makes this different than Matt Kenseth wrecking Brian Vickers at Martinsville. And can you
like Matt Kenseth never wrecked anyone before? Never wrecked anyone before.
How often
on
has Matt Kenseth been on probation compared to Kyle Busch? Let's just acknowledge there is a cumulative effect.
Of course, that's why Kyle Busch is just the right guy. If you want to say we're going to put an end to this because it's getting out of hand, we're going to change our policy, which is exactly what's happened, unless they change it again the next time something happens.
Which they probably will. It's NASCAR.
They might, okay? But my point is, this is the perfect way to do it. He's Kyle Busch, so everyone's going to hate on him anyway. He's pretty much out of the championship race, so parking him for a cup race isn't really a big deal, neither to him nor, more importantly, probably to his sponsor, M&M's.
Oh, M&M's is pissed.
So this is the time and the way to do it. But just don't act like you're doing something, that he's done something that's, whoa, so far beyond the realm. I mean, this is what guys have been doing all year long. You're seriously going to tell me that's worse than turning Brad Keselowski on the straightaway at Gateway, which Carl Edwards did after he already flipped him up in the air at 180 at Atlanta.
I won't say
and at that time, everyone was going, oh, boy, we can't do anything too bad to Carl, because that would be changing our boys have at it policy.
That's because boys have at it was new at the time. Now we've got 3 years of it under our belt. And, yes, it evolves. The process
Just last week, we were glorifying this. What a great race it was at Martinsville. Guys are losing their temper, turning each other. Tony Stewart and Brian Vickers at Infineon. David Rudiman did it to Kyle Busch at Kansas last year. There's any number of these instances where guys go out there, they get upset with someone, they settle a feud, or they snap, and they wreck someone on purpose. They get out of their car, and they say, I wrecked him on purpose. And no one says...
Because Kyle Busch
has a personality you don't like.
And no, because he's been on probation already this year. Plus, he did it under caution. He did it almost at full speed.
So you're telling me
he turned him into the wall head on. And you're the guy who always says you have to look at the results and not just the intent. The result was he turned Ron Hornaday hard into the wall head on.
Just don't tell me. You can park him if you want. Just don't tell me this is some action like none we've ever seen before. It happens all the time.
It does.
All the time.
Has anybody denied that?
If you want to change your policy, yes, they've denied it. Oh, we always said when we crossed the line, we'd know when they crossed the line. This line has been crossed numerous times, back and forth, back and forth. Let me cross the line. I'll cross it again. I think I'll cross it again. Now we've decided that there's a line there when we've been doing the same thing all year.
If Carl Edwards does it again, they should park him because he is a repeat offender
and
has a pattern of behavior.
Under
Kyle
caution
Busch has a pattern.
That's worse under caution than at 180. That's worse doing it under caution than it is at 180. We saw Gilliland turn Juan Pablo at this very racetrack head on into the wall a few years ago. Look, I'm not defending what he did. I want to be really clear about it. I'm not defending what he did. It was wrong. I think it was an overreaction based on what I saw. But aren't we the guys who sit there and go, well, there's stuff that goes on between these drivers that we don't even know about. And sometimes they just settle that feud and you just don't know what leads to it. I'm just saying, Leave the self-righteous tone out of it. Just leave the self-righteous, he's the worst guy in the world tone out of it, because that to me is...
You know what? I think there's a lot more to discuss around this issue. I want to tie this one with a nice little bow.
Okay,
this sort of let's not be self-righteous Kyle Busch video. We're going to end this one, then we're going to come back and we're going to do a second video about some of the other issues surrounding this parking of Kyle Busch. Bassmasters.
I know I'm wrong because everyone seems to disagree with me.
Well, you know you're wrong just because that's your pattern of behavior.
Well, wait till
like Kyle Busch.
I don't think so, Buzz Cutler.
Check out part 2 of this video in a little bit.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.